Welcome to Botanical Trails Through the Juniper Forest. I'm your host, Brian Heater. Each week, I'll have a different guest join me to explore a pair of interesting gins. We'll chat a little bit about the gin and the distilleries, throw in a bit of trivia, hopefully laugh a bit, and then we'll go off the beaten path. Although I say that this is a podcast about gin, really this is just an excuse for me to spend time with my friends. But that'll just be our secret. Okay, let's start exploring. Welcome to episode 2 of season 2. The guest today, literally fan favorite, Greg Sighthamel. Welcome back.
Fan favorite. I will take that as a great compliment. Thank you very much for having me.
You betcha. Now, before we get started with the gins, we just got back from lunch, and I'm sure you're chomping at the bit to let everyone know why we were out to lunch today. So let them know.
Thank you very much. I was lucky enough to have my good friend Brian take me to one of my favorite restaurants, Fat Boys, because the first episode we did reached 100 downloads.
You were the first episode of the podcast series to hit 100 downloads. Somehow it's not recorded anywhere, but allegedly I said if you hit 100 downloads, I would take you out to lunch. But you did it. So that's awesome.
I have 50 email addresses that each downloaded the podcast on 3 different platforms.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
I mean, it's awesome. So thank you very much.
That'd be 150. Wait.
I mean, listen, you're an English teacher, so I'm not worried about it. I understand. I was in math class with you. I don't know how you got into the advanced math class, but you were in there with me.
Because I sat next to smart people.
Yeah, exactly. It's not what you know, it's who's in your row.
Exactly.
Best to cheat rather than repeat. Anyhow, just kidding, kids. Study hard.
Are those state sayings?
Yeah. What? I don't know. I'm not sure. Well, you are back because if people listen to the first episode, when you were on last year, you had been in London, well, England, but London, I think when you got these, and you got a selection of gins, and we still had a couple to get through. So today we are going to try 2 of those. So,
Cannot wait.
So let's try this first one. Give that a sip. It's a gin and tonic. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks for coming back on.
Thank you.
Now, I obviously have never had this because they would have gone through the entire inventory to try it to see what would work. What do you think?
I like it. This is a nice cocktail. Very fresh.
This is actually a gin from Italy. It is actually the first gin we've done on the show that's from Sicily. It is Panarea, right? That's what we just listened to make sure I pronounce it. Panarea Island Gin. Like I said, for our show, this is the first one from Sicily. So last year, maybe midway through the season, I discovered this new app called Ginventory. So, and anyhow, I use it to try and do a little bit of research.
You're learning a lot about gin as you go, aren't you?
As far as people think, yes. So Ginventory described this as a pure Italian botanical gin. It is distilled from Mediterranean herbs, citrus extracts, bilberry. Never heard of that before. Bilberry.
Expensive suits.
Isn't that Burberry? Is that Burberry?
Maybe.
And then juniper, along with myrtle and coriander. So definitely some different botanicals in there. It is designed to bring to mind the ancient flavors and scents of Sicily. So, and this version of the gin, this Island Gin, it came out in 2016. The drink we're having is a recipe that I found on their website. It is Fever Tree Mediterranean Tonic with garnished it with a little bit of fresh orange juice.
It's delicious.
Yeah.
It's very nice.
But you can also garnish it with, they also say you could do a lime, a lemon, or rosemary. But I thought we'd do orange because it'd be kind of fun.
Did you say rosemary? Lime, lemon, orange,
and rosemary.
Or rosemary?
Yeah. They orange, rosemary, lime, lemon are the 4 things that they said you could garnish it with that would taste well.
Have you ever had rosemary in a gin drink?
Yes. Weren't you on for that one? Or maybe that was Place. Yes, but we had rosemary in a... Yeah, it was Place because Yeah, that was a long story. But yes, I've had rosemary in it. And it was good. Yeah, it was good. So this distillery was created, that this gin comes from, by the Inga family. And they sort of began getting involved with the production of liqueurs and spirits back in 1832. So that's like one of the oldest distilleries near Noto, Sicily. That's kind of where they started. The company is still in family hands. It's led by two Inga brothers, Federico and Lorenzo. And the Pannoria, that is an actual island in Sicily, and it's located near the active volcano of Stromboli. And that's the most interesting thing I found when I was doing my research, so I thought I'd mention it. But anyhow, so that is our first gin. So it is a little Italian gin. So this is like the 6th Italian gin I think we've done on the show.
Really?
So, yeah. Yep.
Interesting. I was going to ask that just now. You have some origin in Italy, right? You've been there. You've visited, and
yep.
Have you been to Sicily?
No, okay. But I probably will end up there at some point. Jim is Sicilian, and we've been talking about wanting to go to Sicily. So that is like one of the next places. When we go back to Europe, I bet we're going to end up either in Sicily, in Spain, or in like the UK, like London.
Are you excited about that?
Yeah, any of those places. I mean, I love Italy, but I've never been to Sicily, so that would be fun. Jim and I originally were going to go to like Barcelona in the summer of 2020, but then COVID hit, and that got postponed, and then actually we've talked about doing what you and Owen did last year, spring break, which is go over there and catch a couple of like EPL games. Yeah. We thought that would be fun.
Highly recommend it. And as I told you at lunch, hopefully my wife and I will be able to visit Spain in early August.
Now, are you going to like travel around or like be based out of a major city?
I like traveling around. I like to see a country. We'll see how that goes, but I'd love to spend time in Barcelona and Madrid.
Yeah. So that'd be fun. Yeah. I've heard Barcelona's amazing. I don't know as many people who've been to Madrid, but I'm sure it's...
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. This is a beautiful drink. What do you think of it?
Of the drink?
Yeah.
It's tasty. I like it. It's... There's kind of a crispness, and it's pretty refreshing. Like, this would be I think this would be a really good gin and tonic for like outside in the summer on like a nice warm day.
Yeah.
I could see me partaking
up in the winter.
I mean, I won't be able to because I can't get this gin here, and obviously we've gone through the 2 bottles. So, but
for the listeners, you should tell them the bottles are very small.
Yes, and they'll see. Yeah. And we've talked about that before because then I mean that's how you had to smuggle them back into the country.
Yeah, almost didn't make it.
You almost gave yourself away.
Almost didn't make it
at customs when they said, "Do you have any liquids?" And you're like, "No." You mean these bottles of gin?
This close from zip ties and chloroform.
Yeah. Now, what we did notice, though, is you also brought back one single bottle from this distiller that has like, it's like grapefruit infused from what I had read about.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see if things are going well. Maybe we'll give that one a try at the end of the show. Is like a special extra. Yeah, you betcha.
Nice. Well, cheers. This is
good. Have you gotten a lot of fan mail for being downloaded 100 times? Like
yes, actually.
Really?
I have gotten fan mail.
You have, and you decided just not to share that with me? I'm just finding this out now?
My dad said he listened to the podcast and laughed out loud. He asked if we're going to do that again, and that's it. But a lot of people... A lot of people have mentioned it, and I definitely put it out in the world. Self-promotion. I knew there was a cheeseburger on the line, so I went all out.
Yeah, so this is what I think we should do for this episode.
Yeah.
I mean, you need to do better, so this is what I think. You need to hit 250.
Okay.
You need to hit 250. Okay. But if you don't, we'll set a deadline. If you don't, I get Ruth Chris.
Okay. 250. I'll take that.
We gotta
take
start.
That. If you give me to the 4th of July.
Oh yeah, no problem.
250.
Easily, yeah. I mean, I give you till like Bastille Day. I'll give you 10 more days.
Okay, I'll take it. July 14th, your birthday. I'll take it. I'll take that bet. Ruth Chris for you.
Yes, or I'll take you back to Fat Boy. I mean, this seems fair.
Okay, but I can get a milkshake too.
I mean, let's just see how it goes.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll take that bet. 250. That's no problem.
So, and I was also have to thank you. Your daughter has been trying to assist in maybe landing a sponsor for the show. So that's something we're currently working on, but I really appreciate her,
Yeah, my daughter has a background in social media marketing. She works with influencers all the time, creating contracts, and she said that she was going to work towards a sponsorship. Come on, Fever Tree.
Wow, you're really helping. Yeah, Fever Tree. Thanks.
Come on, Fever Tree. Fever Tree, come on, man. Come on. All we do is say nice things. This drink is delicious. The gin is fine. It's run-of-the-mill gin, but the tonic is flavorful. It's full-bodied. It's just making me happy. So, Fever Tree, come on. Do the right thing.
Well, we'll see. You never know. So, but it'd be nice. Like you said, when we walked into the studio, we could get earphones or whatever.
Or maybe some other sponsor, like Anheuser-Busch.
Yeah, probably not. I don't think so. No.
McDonald's.
Why? That's not tied into the show.
McGin?
No.
It'd be delicious.
Maybe a juniper forest somewhere.
Who makes peanuts? What about the peanut people?
I don't know. That little peanut guy. What's his name? Salty?
Salty the Peanut? Yeah, I think so.
Who is he?
I don't know. The guy with the top hat, right?
Yeah.
That's Mr. something.
Mr. Peanut, isn't it?
Is it?
Isn't it? Pretty sure. What's that brand?
I don't know now.
I see it all the time, but now I can't think of it.
Rochester's. No. What's the name of the peanut plant?
I don't know.
How do we not know? Yeah,
I don't know. But these aren't that. This is like Meyer brand.
Oh. Well,
lightly salted.
Meyer.
Well, you gotta keep it local, baby.
That's a good point. Those are delicious peanuts.
Their world headquarters, is just up the street.
Planters.
From the studio.
Planters sucks. Meyer is where it's at, right?
Is it Planters though with a little peanut guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Planter peanuts.
Yeah.
I got it. But these are much better.
These?
Between the tonic and those peanuts.
Oh, it's a party. It's a little party on the table. For sure.
Come on, sponsors. I noticed you're wearing a Puma jacket when we get them involved.
Oh, that'd be nice.
That'd be something.
That'd be nice.
Full merch.
Gear. Oh, yeah. Botanical Trails themed Puma gear.
I've always pictured you in a full tracksuit.
Yeah.
Velour. Velour tracksuit.
I don't know. Is that...
Chains?
Not chains.
Just like high school.
That was definitely nothing that I dressed like in high school.
That's exactly what you used to wear all the time.
Not at all.
Before we go any further, can we mention this?
I don't know.
True or false? True or false? High school.
Okay.
Peg jeans.
For me?
Yeah.
Is this the question?
Yep. Did you?
I don't know. We'll have to go back.
Did you take your jeans to a tailor to get them pegged to the point where you can barely push your dogs out?
I don't think I have those receipts anymore. So I'm gonna... No, yes, I don't know. There was something about it.
Yeah, that was a good look. It was a good look.
Yeah, no, but yeah, I would take them to the tailor to get pegged.
Yeah.
It was this little tailor downtown.
Uh-huh.
And it was Jim. Jim did it, and so I just copied Jim. So,
was it a female tailor or male tailor? Do you remember?
I believe he was male. I mean, my guess is it was like a family-run place. I mean, this is like 35 years ago. But
I could picture him then. I could picture him describing your ankles as delicate and pegging the jeans down to the point where... He was
like, you should be careful around your friends, is what he had told me.
Because they're going to remember this?
He said they're really athletic, but if that idiot sticks his foot under yours, that could cause an issue, is what he had told me. And then horribly, senior year, he was proven correct when you you basically ruined my athletic career. In just a cheap shot in the middle of a Nerf hoop game. It was very sad.
Well, at least we don't dwell on these things.
No,
we can move on.
Now, the question is, did you enjoy chauffeuring me around then for like 2 weeks since I really couldn't walk?
There was guilt involved. There was definitely guilt. We went to a Catholic high school, and I prayed about it.
I thought you would have made a good Uber driver then as you got older.
Thank you very much.
That, you drove pretty well.
Yeah, beaded seat covers, and
yeah.
Yeah, I did drive you around because we got into we got tangled up. We'll just say that. We got tangled up. You were going for the ball. I was going for the ball. We're competitors, and those things happen.
Yeah. Now, the crazy thing is I turned around and did it exactly like a year later, but the other ankle, exact same way, but regular basketball, not Nerf hoop, up at State.
Yeah.
right before finals.
Again.
Same thing. Yeah. And then I was on crutches.
Delicate ankles. Delicate ankles. Just like your tailor said. You have delicate ankles.
I don't know if you said delicate.
So
I thought it was lean. Lean is what I remember. I'm not delicate.
fragile, delicate, like a dancer, like a tiny dancer.
Well, I don't know about any of that. So, no, real quick, we were talking at lunch. You had taken your family on vacation down to Mexico, like after New Year's. Is that correct? And how was that trip? Did the family enjoy it?
That was fun. We had a good time. We were all together. We were out on the beach. We had delicious food, mass quantities of food. I've got a teenage boy, and he is just nonstop eating all the time. We had a great time, and to the point where I'm hoping that becomes a family tradition, because as they grow older and they start spreading out and doing different things.
Well, I'm just going to say, you got 3 kids. One's out of college.
Right.
One is currently, in Peanut. And then Owen's a senior this year.
Right.
So when is the last time you guys all did a vacation like this together?
Oh, I mean, probably before COVID. We tend to take time in the summertime to go visit my dad. He lives on Lake Michigan in Sawyer. And this last summer, we noticed that there wasn't a single time when we could all be there together because of work schedules and internships and soccer stuff. So now we're starting to recognize we can't be together as a group very often. So this trip during the holidays was just the ticket. It was beautiful. We loved it. And I would love to do it again.
And you were down
Do you want to go?
with you guys?
Yeah, sure.
as a
Why
family?
not? I mean, just the 5 of us and you.
And you'd pay for me, like it's all inclusive, like the last one,
Well,
right?
yeah.
I mean,
You'd have to stay with the kids.
grandfather me in.
You
What?
stay with the kids.
It sounds like they're fun to be with. It sounds like they know how to have a good time.
You would also have to contractually carry the bags.
Well, I can do that.
Yeah. Well, then I see no problem.
Well, I can't wait.
Great.
Where were you going to next year?
I don't know. We were thinking about Costa Rica, Dominican Republic.
I've had a couple friends who've been to Costa Rica. They loved it. And in fact, my sister Lori just got back from Belize.
Oh.
And she said that place was great.
Belize.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'd like to try all of that. And if you...
Now, would you stick with the all-inclusives again, or would you do something different?
We're high rollers, so we definitely stick with that.
Yeah,
the all-inclusive.
exactly. When I think of you, I think of a high roller. So,
Well, that's why I'm asking you to come along. And now all of a sudden you go from carrying the bags to also preparing all the meals.
well, if you like peanut butter sandwiches and grilled cheese, homemade chocolate chip cookies and M&Ms, then I think you got yourself a bargain.
Now that I say that, I couldn't imagine a worse personal chef than...
Wow, that's one of the meaner things you said.
Hey, look, kids, cheese pizza again.
Hey, they like the cheese nachos, so I just thought I'd follow that up with cheese pizza.
Here are French fries. Don't worry, we don't have ketchup.
You don't want ketchup on it.
Oh,
You just want salt and pepper, the way God intended.
Is that what?
Yeah.
Yeah, well...
Do you know you cannot grow a tomato in Idaho? I don't know. Trying to think of a joke. I couldn't. Yeah. There's something there. I'll have to think of
Personal chef, huh? Personal chef. This is your resume. This is the interview. It's not going well.
That's fine. I've got this fake job right here.
What's for lunch? Peanuts.
And gin.
Are they planters? No.
No. Greg made sure that wasn't going to be a thing. All right. Round 1 of trivia. We decided I would go first, so you can ask the question.
Okay.
Question is, Bramley and Gage created a gin named after which hour of the day? 4 o'clock, 6 o'clock, or 8 o'clock? Bramley and Gage.
Bramley and Gage. 4. It's 4, 6 or 8? Was that
4 o'clock, 6 o'clock, or 8 o'clock?
Man. I don't know. I can't think of seeing this around. I'm going to say, happy hours could, in a fun way, start at 4. Let's say 4 o'clock, Jim.
Totally wrong.
Man, what is it, 8 o'clock?
6 o'clock.
Oh. All right. Well, whatever. I haven't seen that. We'll have to keep an eye open.
I understand. Hey, I like the fact that you keep the integrity of the game. You don't look at the questions ahead of time. I find that commendable because you tend to be a competitive little bastard.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of losing. That's true, but we don't need to worry about that. We will take a break. I'll go get our next round of beverages ready.
Oh, thank you.
And we'll be back. All right, we are back. So we're going to sample the 2 gins straight and then move on to the second gin. So why don't you give this a try? This, again, Island Gin here. You don't have to shoot it. You can just sip it. It doesn't burn that much at all. Maybe when you shot it like that, but actually, that's got really nice flavor. I think so.
Yeah.
Do you want me to get you another one of that? You didn't seem to do that correctly. Why don't you take a sip of that water and pull yourself together?
Okay, I will. That was...
remember, you sip we're not at a...
You find this
we're not
enjoyable.
at one of your college frat parties.
You sip that so you can savor that flavor.
Your college frat days totally came flying back right there. You're like, oh, a shot. No, you're just supposed to sip it. Enjoy it.
It's like gasoline.
No, that's got a nice little flavor to it.
Doesn't it?
Honestly, I think you could put that like over rocks and garnish it with a little lime or orange or something and sip on it, and it would be pretty tasty, for sure.
Yeah.
I like it.
Okay,
so our second gin is actually from a distiller that we did last time you were on, the Marrakesh. This is their California gin. Ooh. So give that a try, because I want to see if you can, remember, don't shoot it, just sip it. But I want to see if you can sort of guess one of the botanicals that's in this.
My mouth's on fire, bro. Oh.
Yeah, it wasn't even that much. I mean, they're just... What are you doing? Come on.
Okay, hold on. That was the water. Clean my palate. Okay, I'm ready.
Right. All right.
I sip it.
Just a little sip. You gotta enjoy it.
Oh, that is.
Now,
enjoyable.
can you tell like what one of the botanicals is in this?
Fire.
Nope.
Jet fuel. Rubbing alcohol.
It's not that this one burned less than that one. What is your deal? These are smooth.
These are smooth?
Yes, these are smooth.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to talk about the gin, then we'll have the cocktail. You're ridiculous. Okay. This is, again, the Marrakesh gin, the California gin. This contains 10 botanicals. I think the last one we did, the last show that you were on, that one had 8, if I remember correctly.
I could definitely tell the difference.
But this includes a deep, intense citrus flavor of Valencian oranges. So I didn't know if you could taste like the orange. I could taste it like a little bit. So
I may not taste it ever again.
Well, you'll be fine. So now a reminder, because we've covered this distillery before. So again, this is from CBA Gin, and they work in conjunction with Silent Pool Distillery. And I think Silent Pool are the one who actually make their gin. But their motto is, if you can't go in person, go in spirit. So last time, remember, we had the Marrakesh, like they had some of the botanicals from Morocco. So now the gin and tonic we're going to try is again off of a recipe that they recommended. And this is the Fever Tree Indian Tonic. I did the light Indian tonic because, like I just said to Mom in the last episode, before you know it, it'll be swimsuit season. So,
yeah.
And also, I just garnished this with a little bit of orange, since it's already got the orange flavoring in there. So let's...
Okay.
Fever Tree again.
Give
Fever
the
Tree.
cocktail a try.
The what?
It's not a trail. It's botanical trails, and it's a cocktail. So.
Did you do it right?
I did, but yeah,
Did you make
it's
it
almost like in a cocktail. That tastes like really neutral.
It is.
Like you don't really taste. It's like a vodka tonic almost, that one.
It's very...
Just neutral.
Yeah.
Which I'm surprised about, because even with the orange in there, but... Huh.
My taste buds have been cauterized, so...
No.
That
one is really just very, neutral. That's really surprising to me, so...
Yeah, it... I mean...
Like, you got...
It's not bad.
No, not at all. But like, I was expecting, it's really going to taste citrusy and like
Flavorful.
orangey for sure.
Yeah.
Especially because I could pick up a little bit of the orange just in the sipper, but not that. Really, that's anyhow.
Yeah.
It's a little surprising, but So,
Should we add a bunch of Sprite to it?
nah, no, it's just fine.
Hey, sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Grenadine? Make it into like a kitty cocktail?
Well, I know you'd love that, but no, this will be fine. So I saw this winter, and I can't remember if we covered this too much last time you were on, but there is a what would Tulip City be considered? Like a amateur team, a semi-pro team? The players don't get paid, correct?
No, they do not.
So it's not a professional league.
No.
But this is so this is season 3. Mm-hmm. And when you and I spoke over the summer, when you were wrapping up season 2, this was going to be your last season as head coach of this new founded team, which was 2 years in. This is year 3. And over social media, I see over the winter, they are announcing you're back as head coach.
One more season, one more year. It's just fun. It's a lot of fun to put this team together, to work on the back end with sponsorships and partnerships, and now in a couple of weeks we're going to have our tryouts. We have a lot of former players coming back. It's always good to see them. It's just been a really positive experience for me. It's been a lot of fun. So one more season.
And what's the league that you guys play in?
We play in the Midwest Premier League.
Okay.
So we have the league stretches out through Wisconsin, Illinois, Iowa, Indiana, and Michigan. And in our conference this year, they just changed things yet again. And we're going to be playing a team in Indianapolis. We're going to be playing a team in Fort Wayne. We're going to be playing a team in just over the Indiana border, along with a big following in Goshen. And our biggest rivals, Lansing Common. So home and aways. Should be a lot of fun.
So Indiana is the farthest that you have to travel as a team then?
Yes, yeah. Last season, we played a lot of teams in Detroit. This season, we're going south. So I think Indianapolis, Fort Wayne. I'm not good at geography. I'm not sure which one's farther, but we'll
what
be
subject are you better in, math or geography? Just out of curiosity.
I would definitely say English.
Great, and that wasn't even an option.
I know. So. I'm just throwing that in there. It's just been fun. You love soccer. I love soccer. It's fun to watch. It's fun to be a part of, and I think West Michigan is a great place for soccer support.
Well, I'm totally looking forward to finally catching a game, and I'm hoping that when I show up this year, there's actually a game. So that'll be that would be great. So fingers crossed that happens this year.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you did go to a game that had been postponed, and I forgot to mention that to you.
That's okay. I just thought I was there really early, and it was kickoff time.
You know, I felt terrible about that. And I probably... When I saw the tears running down your...
I'm like, where are you? I'm lost. I don't even know how I got here.
Cheeks. When I saw the tears running down your cheeks, that's when I felt terrible. Didn't you have somebody with you, too? Did you?
No, luckily I dodged that bullet.
Oh.
I was going to bring my buddy Sean, who coaches in the... he is a coach for like a U14 and a U13 team here. And he was going to come out with it because he was excited to meet you and do it. And then... I think something came up and he couldn't make it, and I was so happy he canceled because I would have felt horrible.
Yeah, not our brightest moment at that point, but it's just been a lot of fun. I hope you can get to go see a game. I'll get you.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see if they actually happen. I mean, who knows? Roll the dice. We'll find out.
This team is just a rumor to you, but it's been fun. It's been a lot of fun.
It's not a rumor. I mean, I have a jersey. I have nowhere to wear it because this team may not exist, but I've got like a practice jersey or whatever you gave me.
Yeah. I'll get
what color are your jerseys this year?
Oh, they're really cool this year. So we have brand new kits. They were designed by this guy named Lalo Pacheco, who is the founder of
Lollapalooza?
No, Wing It Sportswear.
Okay.
Wing It Lifestyle. And he put together some really cool looking kits that, I don't know, it's hard for me to describe them, but our home jerseys are going to look awesome. So And
by that, you mean by what color are they going to be?
black, big white stripe down the middle.
Okay.
And
black shorts?
Fringed in red and green are club colors.
Yep. Okay.
And then black shorts. They all have the Wing It lifestyle emblem on them. They look really sharp.
And that's your home.
That's our home jersey.
And then away?
Our away jerseys are, fairly plain Nike jerseys.
White?
White.
Okay.
And they're going to look sharp.
Okay, good. Well, I got the black one, so I can wear that to the, if there's a home game this year, I'll wear that. So
We're doing our best to make the club a great fan experience, but also a great player experience. And quite frankly, my biggest goal is to have a club that players want to play for. And we've had a lot of returning players, which tells me they like the experience. They want to be a part of it again. So that's been very fulfilling.
And from the fans' perspective, I would say, what's great? An actual game. So if you guys do that, I think you'll have something there. You tie those two together, you've got something there. That's lightning in a bottle, baby.
Yeah, well, just check the local schedules and
then
show up.
Maybe. And then maybe. I'm not going to lie, don't maybe trust the schedule. I actually had a ticket. So
come out to Holland High School soccer
I'm just
field.
saying that it did happen, but it was a fluke. Like the other team, couldn't field enough guys. Or
No, they
something,
canceled. They canceled, and then the league really frowns on that. You get all kinds of penalties and fines for that. So they're bad people. That game, they were bad people, and there's just nothing we could do about that. So,
it was just a fluke.
yeah, just a fluke.
Yeah.
But when the game was canceled, I do remember just driving out to the beach.
You were somewhere having fun. I called, and it sounded like you were having a great time. And I think you could hear the crickets in the background where I was.
Crickets where you were, ukulele party music where I was.
Yes.
And,
if you listen really softly, you could hear a little violin where I was. It was very sad. So
Again, the empty parking lot, the tears down the cheeks. I felt terrible for at least 30, 45 seconds.
you were already happy before the call ended. You didn't even really care.
Yeah.
I remember. So
Do you remember off mic you saying, "Hey everybody, Brian's at the soccer field."
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, I remember.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that. Won't happen again. Won't happen again.
I'm not going to hold my breath, but so.
I don't know, man. These are long away games. Indianapolis.
Oh yeah. So what do you have to do? Rent a bus? How does that work for your team?
Usually we just
or is it carpool because you're not?
Yeah, we don't do a lot of bus travel just because we have players coming in from Grand Rapids, Kalamazoo, St. Joe, kind of all over West Michigan. So it doesn't make sense to drive to Holland and then drive somewhere else. So we usually just kind of carpool it from all the different places players come from. But this year we might have to drive a bus. Luckily, I'm a bus driver.
You are.
Yeah.
I can't believe they roped you into that.
I can drive a bus.
I know. You actually got to do it like an actual school bus driver because they were so desperate, correct?
Yeah, at one point we didn't have enough school bus drivers. So because I have a chauffeur's license so that I could drive the soccer team, they asked me to drive a route. And for about a month, one year, I drove in the mornings, parked the bus at the high school, taught classes all day, jump on the bus, drive everybody home.
Were you getting two separate paychecks? How did that work? Or did they just hoodwink you into part of your original contract?
No. They threw some dollars my way, but it's not something I would want to do long term. I'm glad that was only temporary. They got some more drivers. So you would be an excellent driver. You're very careful.
No, I don't like driving big things like that, though. Oh. No, I was a delivery driver, when I first got out of college.
Uh-huh.
After my first job fell apart, then I ended up being a delivery driver for a local, they were a local stationery store, but they also sold copiers and fax machines and stuff like that. So I didn't know
this about you.
Oh yeah. So for the routes, I would, I delivered a lot of copy paper and stuff like that. But Friday mornings, they had a, let's see, we were in Clinton, New Jersey, and then they had another office in Somerset, if I remember correctly, which was kind of near the center of the state. And so I would take that's where the bigger repair shop was. So I would have to take, I would have to take stuff there, drop it off, and then pick up stuff. And so two two stories around this. So one, this company was owned by the Miolas.
Oh.
So Tony Miola, who was the goalkeeper for the U.S. men's national team.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, his dad was the one who owned the Somerset store. So I worked for his uncle out of the Clinton stationery store.
Uh-huh.
So the other thing is, one day I'm carrying like a fax machine. It was like a smaller fax machine, but it was like good size because this is back in like... This is back in like 93.
Kids, fax machines would print out messages. You'd put a piece of paper in one side and then magically on the other side.
It would go through the phone lines.
Yes.
Yep. And it would come out. So...
Because you're old. You're
I'm
old.
old. Yeah. I mean, you're older than me, but yes.
Yeah, fax machines.
Yeah. So I'm carrying this thing out to the van. And I don't know what I do, but I drop the damn thing. Now, luckily, this is one that has to get repaired.
They're expensive.
I don't know, but I just drop it. And I'm like, oh my God. And I look around and no one sees me drop it. And I'm like, oh, this is fine. And I just scoop it back up and I shove it in the van because it's off to get repairs. So they don't know why the hell it's not working. And I totally just didn't have to worry about it. And then I just like, oh, okay. Anyhow, the van was like one of these...
No, wait a minute. The sound of a fax machine hitting pavement must have been horrible.
Oh, yeah. I was just like, uh-oh. Like, that's probably like 3 paychecks. Yeah, it was not good. But I like look around and luckily like no, because it was like early Friday morning. No one's there buying paper yet or anything. And I was just like, oh my God. Thank God it wasn't like a done one, right? But the van was like sort of like an extended van because... I mean, we'd load like a lot of crap into there.
Yeah. Copy machines are big, yeah.
I would occasionally back into telephone poles and stuff because it was so long. But the thing was already dented up before I even started driving there. So, like, they never knew. But, like, so I just kept driving the thing and no one was none the wiser. So it worked out fine. So
you were dropping stuff, you were hitting stuff.
Yeah.
Employee of the year.
No, not at all. No. And then the worst part of that job was...
Wait a minute. That wasn't the worst part. That wasn't the worst part of that job.
No, the worst part was they sold like some office furniture too. Okay. And one of the things they sold was like a mahogany desk. And it's one of these things that's like built already. So it's not even like an IKEA thing where it comes in pieces and you like put it together. Like, so there's this huge desk. And the place we delivered to is like up a flight of stairs.
You're a strong guy, though.
Not back then. No, I'm definitely stronger now than I was back when I was like 20, 23 probably back then.
All right.
And we got to haul this thing up these stairs. And it was petrifying. I thought the thing was going to fall back on me and crush me. And the next day I could barely get out of bed. It was like one of the most physically taxing things I have ever done. It was horrifying.
We've known each other for a long time, and I have never heard that story.
Yeah. That was back in. Back during my stint in Jersey.
So what's your worst job?
Worst job.
You've had a lot of jobs.
So when you and I met in high school.
Yep.
I was doing like a work study program.
Okay.
So we get money off tuition, and so like before my freshman year, I had to do like yard work around Hackett, and then when I was a senior and Lori was a freshman, like fall semester, we would like mop the floors and do like just some janitorial work. Like that was not great. Mm-hmm. I mean, but that was more just because it wasn't fun and you're like amongst your peers and stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh man, tell the fire story. I love the
So when I was out at Val, so I worked, so after senior year in high school, before I went to Michigan State, I worked at Kalamazoo Valley Community College as on the grounds crew. And part of my job was burning all of the trash at the school. And so they would have like, if you've ever been like at a school or like a corporate setting, they have like these big gray carts where they just like dump trash in.
Yeah.
And so every morning there'd be a couple of these, and I would just like load them up into the incinerator. Okay. There's this big iron door. You shut the door.
So you worked with the incinerator?
Yep, that was my job, to burn the trash every morning. That's how my day started. Before I'd get to like go mow the yard or water the trees or scrape the tennis backboards. And so I'd burn the trash. Well, I was going to Michigan State. So back then, State was on trimesters. Yeah. So we didn't start school till like mid-September, and most of the other colleges, we're back in session by the end of August. So I've got like 3 weeks left, and I come in, and all of a sudden there's not like 3 or 4 carts. There's like 8 to 10 or to 12. Like, I'm like, how are we going to burn all this trash? So what they tell me is load it up as much as you can.
Okay.
Start it, and then crack the door, and then just feed the rest of it in.
What could go wrong?
So that was my job. And we got paid like every Friday back then. And like the last month I worked there, it was no joke, like every Friday, if I could live and survive the day, I would get paid. So this is what happened like the last month. So with the incinerator, I was burning the trash one day, and there was just like a crap ton this day.
Yeah, it's August in Michigan. It's warm. It's warm.
Oh, I mean, it was already hot in there, but I am just, so I'm feeding this thing, and the doors like cracks. I'm feeding the stuff in there, and I had to haul out one of the empty carts to get another one. And luckily I'm outside of the room, and all of a sudden there's just like, bam, like an explosion. And what had happened was someone had thrown away an aerosol can. And what happened is that thing blew up, and it blew that door that I would shut the fire. It blew the door out. It swung out and then swung back. But by doing that, it opened. So now I walk back into that room with the next thing of trash. And I'm not joking. It was like looking into the gates of hell. This fire is raging, and this door, like, to get the door down, I have to, like, reach up as high as I can to grab the handle to pull this thing down. And I'm like, I've got to get that thing closed.
Yes, you do.
And I start walking up there to see if I can get it. And I can't get close. I am so hot. Like, I thought the hairs on my arm were singeing. I know this sounds insane, but that's like how warm it was. It was insane. So finally, I'm just like, I got to go and do it. And I go up there, and I just basically ran, and I grabbed it, and I shut it. And then I like fed the rest of the stuff in. And then I find out like the next week, my mom's like, a memo goes out, and they're like, do not throw away aerosol cans.
Yeah.
One of our workers almost just, died.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was like one Friday. Then another Friday, I'd have to mow the yards, but we had a little courtyard in the middle by the cafeteria. I don't know if did you ever take a class at Valley in the summer? Okay.
No.
So they had a little courtyard, and the only way we could get in there is we had to push a lawnmower like through the college to go just through a side door, like a little push mower. We couldn't use the tractor. And this is the other thing. My job required me to constantly wear a hard hat. So it didn't matter what I was doing. If I was inside a building doing nothing, I had to wear a hard hat. No one else had to. It was really impressive.
I can't believe you didn't meet chicks.
Oh, man, there's a super cute girl out there, too. She was so pretty. Anyway, and I felt like an idiot whenever I would see her wearing that stupid hat. But, so we're out there one day, and I'm out with this other guy, and just this thunderstorm blows through. And real quick, it gets dark super quick. And he's like, we should probably like get inside real quick. I'm like, okay, we go inside. I'm not joking. 45 seconds to a minute later, lightning hit a tree in the courtyard.
In the courtyard?
In the courtyard, right where we had been. So I'm like, okay. And then the following week, I'm out there, and this was the summer, I don't know if you remember, this is summer after we graduated, and it was super hot and dry that summer. And I only knew that because I had to go out every day because we had this tractor, and I would have to pull this huge tank of water to just go water all the trees around the campus to keep them alive. So anyhow, I'm mowing the yard, I'm watering the trees, and I look into the parking lot, and all of a sudden, a car's on fire. And so a car like overheated in the parking lot. It catches on fire, and it is so hot it starts melting the tires like in the cars next to it. The fire department has to show up. So we're all kind of like hanging out, like watching this because it's Friday afternoon, and this is the most exciting thing that's happened all summer. Well, while we're there, what ends up happening is some type of like big, I don't know, dump truck or something is just going by the college for something else. It taps its brakes, and the brake pad flies off.
Okay.
The brake pad is just super hot, though, from trying to, like, stop the truck. And the grass is just dry as can be. and it sets the grass on fire at KVCC in the front of the college. And so we're watching this, and the fire department's here, but they don't really care about the grass fire. They want to get the car out. So my boss is like, Brian, drive out there.
Yeah.
Because I've got the water tank.
You've got a big tank of water.
And now it's literally just grass. So, I mean, the fire is maybe 1.5 inches, 2 inches off the ground. Like, it's not tall, but it's windy and it's blowing across. And they want me to, like...
Yeah.
So I drive the tractor out, like, I'm trying to get in front of the fire. And another guy that I worked with, Chet, runs out there. And the water tank had this, like, engine on it or generator where you could get it going and it would, like, you could, like, spray the water out. Well, we had never used it because I was just... And, of course, the thing probably didn't have gas in it. We hadn't run it all summer. And he's trying to start it. It won't start. And he's like, get out of here. Get out of here. Like, I'm going to blow up from this, like, 2-inch fire blowing across the college campus. And, anyhow, I just drove away. And then that was the day of the fire. So that was...
Wow.
The worst job in terms of, like, maybe potentially I could have bought it a couple times.
Mortal danger?
A little bit.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, that's
amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Hey, listen, before we get too far away, I got to tell you, I was living in North Carolina. Your story reminded me of...
Is this, when you were in college, or is this after college and you were teaching?
After college, my first teaching job, and my sister... Lisa came down to visit me. I almost said Odd, my oldest daughter. My sister Lisa came down to visit me. She lived with me that summer, and of course, being who I am, I charged her rent. So I was like, yeah,
you charged your sister rent?
Yeah.
That was nice of you.
Yeah, I know. Looking back on it, not my proudest.
What a loving brother.
Anyway, so she had to get a job. And she was desperate to find a job. She went through these temp agencies, and she got a job at a construction site. So it's North Carolina, middle of the summer. It's easy 90, 95 degrees. And she works at this construction site. They would take all the scrap wood and just burn it in this huge bonfire. And so for a couple days, she was just in jeans, a hat, work clothes, boots. She had to have boots. And she was just in charge of this huge fire in the middle of North Carolina. And
I felt bad. Obviously, I'm laughing about it because, it helped build character.
It gave her character.
Yeah, exactly. But being in charge of a bonfire in the middle of summer in North Carolina, probably not the most enjoyable job.
No, but it sounds fun, and I'm sure she's got great stories from it.
Oh, and she got paid a ton.
Of course. Yeah. Well, that makes sense.
I think she made upwards of $3 an hour.
That makes sense for the 90s.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's about right.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you ready for round 2?
Trivia. Give it to me.
Your turn.
GVCC. KVCC.
No. And good luck on this one.
Okay.
So, is Daffy's Gin, Daffy,
of course,
is Daffy's Gin named after the goddess of gin or the cartoon duck?
Cartoon duck.
I guess it's a 50-50.
Cartoon duck. Cartoon duck, obviously.
That's your answer?
That's my answer.
Oh, that was not right. It is the goddess of gin, who was first mentioned in around 1700, although little is known of her. I've never heard of this person.
I feel like you made that up.
No, it's right there. Read it.
Yeah, that card means nothing to me.
I didn't make up a fake card.
You just said no one knows about her, but this is the answer anyway.
I know. So, homework for next episode is who is this goddess of gin?
Bullshit.
You okay?
Excuse me, yeah.
Do you need a napkin?
No, peanut. Stuck in my throat.
Kleenex?
Bullshit. Sorry.
All right. Now, for everyone's favorite subject or section.
Yes.
Segment. Off the beaten path, and you had decided you wanted to go first.
I will go first. Okay, listen. So many things we could talk about. You and I go way back, and there are so many things that I could mention that you and I lived through that most people probably don't know about because, we're kind of nerdy.
I mean, you were. I wasn't. I mean,
you were nerdy?
I wasn't nerdy?
Oh, man. Before I get to the beaten path, I got to tell this story. So we're at a party at Parkview.
Oh, Parkview Hills.
Parkview Hills. Yeah, right. So we get out there, And as we're walking up,
This is senior year in high school.
senior year in high school, and it's out in the middle of nowhere, right between these condos, kind of out in this. So we're walking through the dark, and we get to this area where there are a bunch of people, obviously, but we can't see them because it's dark. And some dude flashes a flashlight in our face, and I think you even mentioned something, or maybe it was Gallagher. I'm not sure. Like, get that flashlight out of our face. Turns out to be a security guard. So he busted all these high school kids in this field at Parkview Hills. And he wants to know who we are. So he's going down the line with a flashlight, and he's asking everyone for their name and their school. And he's asking, and of course, we're all giving him fake names. And he gets to my friend Brian, and Brian is standing there in a varsity leather jacket.
I have Jim's varsity leather jacket on.
Varsity leather jacket, big green jacket with a big H on it. And he asks, "Where do you go to school, son?" And you said, "Harvard." But do you know how he got away from that? Do you remember? So we're all on this line, and all of a sudden, Mike Burke and, what's his name? Oh gosh, his friend, I forgot. They jump into a rowboat.
Yeah, I remember.
They jump into a rowboat and they just start rowing out in this little ornamental man-made lake
pond or something. Yeah.
And so the security guard runs over there trying to stop these guys in a rowboat, and we all just
And we're just like,
ran away.
well, there's only him. And frankly, he wasn't in great shape. Like, it wasn't going to be hard to outrun him.
Oh, that was a good memory. Harvard. Classic.
Yeah. Good times.
Good times. Okay, so listen, back to the beginning. A lot of things we could talk about, but I brought this. And this is not only something that I want to mention, but it's also something that I want to give to you. This is a gift. This is a gift. So this is a book called Soccer in the Sun and Shadow.
Okay.
Written by Eduardo Galeano. Now, I know that you have a lot of Uruguayan poets that you'll enjoy, but this Uruguayan poet wrote a book about the beauty of the beautiful game.
Okay.
And it is a beautiful description of soccer, football, and it goes through all the positions, and it talks about these heroes, both European, South American, that played the game when he was growing up, and it is just a beautifully poetic description of the game you and I love. So, Soccer in the Sun and Shadow.
Thanks, bud.
Yeah, no problem.
I love that.
So is this like stories about how he loves soccer or enjoys it? Is this like from a fan perspective, or he's just
it's just his appreciation of the game, and they're all short. They are more poetry than they are stories.
Okay.
But
they're not poems, right? They're like stories.
They're both. It's poetic. Let's say that. It's not poem. They aren't poems. It's poetic, but it's beautiful. I've enjoyed it. I think you will too. So there you go. Soccer in Sun and Shadow.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. You know what? I tied my Off the Beaten Path into us as well. So mine is a movie.
Okay.
Came out in 1984. That's the year you and I met.
Okay.
We were both freshmen at Hackett.
All right.
And I'll talk a little bit more about the movie, but I want to see if you can guess it. Part of the movie involves gin rummy.
Okay.
The card game gin rummy.
Yeah.
Does this mean anything to you?
Yes, it does. Of course.
What movie is this?
The Devil and Miss Jones.
What? Good Lord. No, what are you talking about? No, not at all.
What am I talking about?
Matt Dillon. Matt Dillon, gin rummy. Do you know this movie?
Drugstore Cowboy. No.
No. But he was in there. But no. Okay. The Flamingo Kid.
Oh.
So The Flamingo Kid. So this is a movie that I think is great. Matt Dillon is in it along with Janet Jones. It came out in 1984. The movie itself is set in 1963, where Matt Dillon plays a character named Jeffrey Willis, and he had just graduated from high school, and he's trying to figure out what he wants to do next. If I remember correctly, his dad is like a plumber, and his dad wants him to go to college because, it's the American dream. But Jeffrey isn't so sure. through some friends, he ends up getting a job out at the Flamingo Beach Club as like sort of like a cabana boy or something, or I don't know. He like parks cars. He just does a bunch of stuff out there. So, and there he meets a member of the country club named Phil Brody, and he's like a successful car salesman. He owns these dealerships, and he really starts to influence Jeffrey to the point where, you know, he doesn't really want to go to college anymore. He wants to start like selling cars to like make money and just, you know, become all this. And then he also meets Phil Brody's niece, played by Janet Jones, and her character is Carla Sampson. They sort of start to date, but like it ends up that Jeffrey is a really good card player, and a big thing at the club is playing gin rummy, and this Phil Brody guy like never loses, and it ends up that there's sort of a reason that he never loses, and I don't want to give too much away, but it's just a really funny, well done movie. Now, what I found out when researching this is the first ever film that was given a PG-13 rating.
Oh.
But it was so sort of...
Spicy.
Yeah. And it's not really that spicy. Like, I don't even know why this would have been PG-13. I don't know. I'm like, did I see someone's, like, ass? Like, I don't remember, like, why this would have been PG-13. But it ends up, it was so controversial that this was going to be a PG-13 film coming in that it got delayed by a few months. And then Red Dawn came out, which was also PG-13. And that's actually the first movie that came out that was PG-13. But it was not the first one that was rated, but it delayed them coming out. Now, the only bad thing is, right now, the Flamingo Kid is not available in any streaming service. I was looking around. But if you type in the Flamingo Kid into Google and you go down like half a page, there was some website where you could just watch the whole movie.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's based out of Eastern Europe and it might corrupt your computer or do something, but you could watch the movie. So
let me get this straight. You're trying to get a Fever Tree sponsorship, and you're urging your listeners to go. No,
I'm not urging them. I'm just saying if you you have a couple options. If you still have a DVD player, you can order a DVD for I'm sure like $4 off of Amazon.
I'm sure.
I have a DVD player. I'm willing to loan it out to you if you want to watch the movie. But the movie's great.
Right next to your fax machine. I
don't have a fax machine. I dropped it. So, and then I gotta think it's gonna come out soon again on a streaming service. It's just such a good movie. Yeah. So anyhow, if you ever get a chance to catch it out, I just highly recommend The Flamingo Kid. It's really funny. Just a well done movie. So
yeah. Hey, listen,
it's a good one.
You and I have a long history of movies, and we used to watch a lot of movies at D's. I'm not going to go into that, but Jim knows what I'm talking about. But there is one movie that I can't even think about without thinking of you.
Animal House.
No. The movie that I cannot think about without picturing Brian Heater, and I think we saw it multiple times in the theater, was Cocktail.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I was trying to make that the number one movie.
You had a huge crush on Tom Cruise.
It was not Tom Cruise.
Are you sure?
Yeah, but I'd gotten my driver's license that summer, and I think we talked about this last time.
I think so
now we're boring.
I think so too.
Let's just bail out of this.
Say her name. Say her name.
Oh, it's Elizabeth Shue.
Yeah.
You know who.
Yeah. Yeah. And then what was the other movie she's in? Adventures in Babysitting?
Yeah, she was in Adventures in Babysitting. Oh, no. But then she was in Leaving Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was not PG-13. That was
definitely
hard
not.
R.
It was a capital R. Well, listen, I can't thank you enough for coming back on, and again with the gins.
My pleasure.
Thanks a bunch, and come Bastille Day, we'll see if it's going to be hamburgers or steak.
250 downloads, not a problem.
Awesome. Well, that sounds great. And thanks for listening, and we'll see you for episode 3. Until then, ciao. Thanks for joining us. Feel free to subscribe to us on whichever platform you listen to your podcasts. Also, I want to take a quick minute to thank Darin VanderMolen for all of his help behind the scenes. Without him, this podcast probably wouldn't even exist, and his help is greatly appreciated. Hope you have a great week, and we will look forward to seeing you the next time we go down the botanical trails. This has been a Shits and Giggles production.